Now back to the Anthony Bill Show on K Love Radio.
You've done this before on Z1 Uncut.
And now, a message from our sponsors.
Tampax.
All right, you guys ready? Who wants to lead us in a prayer to start? Prayer from the heart.
God, we love you. We thank you for this day, for these men, these people that are in our lives. Thank you for guiding us. Please direct our thinking so that we may live on a higher spiritual thought plane. Uh, be with us as we go through the rest of this week, as we continue to work on this daily reprieve for the rest of our lives. We thank you for all that we are given and all the experiences we have. In your name, amen.
Amen.
All right. So, what's it like hanging out with each other?
Anthony, I'll defer to you, buddy.
Uh, it's uh, it's an experience. I'm finding out more about myself, and getting to know these guys is it's a pleasure. Um, Everybody's going through trials and tribulations, and getting a bar recovery and getting spiritually fit.
Right on. Yeah, man, it's been awesome. Honestly, like I've learned a lot from these three guys here, and as well as the other guys that have been out there, staff and everything. But I really have had some really cool conversations with Brandon and James and Tony over here. That's opened up my eyes to a lot of things that I have to work on personally. But getting feedback and being able to have these like raw conversations, out of the learning sessions and all that kind of stuff has been really cool. And we got a good group for sure. We work well together. It hasn't been too many altercations, if any, really. But yeah, the whole it's been good. It's been a positive experience so far. What about you?
It's a learning experience for me because I'm a loner and not wanting to be that way no more. Getting out of my comfort zone, learning how to react to people, to different personalities, and my personalities. Trying to act, I'm trying to be more like in a loving way, and it's a hard thing to do instead of being like standoffish. But it's a learning experience every day, every moment of each day for me, and I enjoy this time. This 30-day reboot is a it's an experience as this is right here.
This is
Very good.
definitely like the most eclectic group of people that I've been around. We're all from different backgrounds, different stories, like drastically different stories. That's one thing that stood out to me, and I've been able to learn things and put things in perspective by talking about where we all have come from and the places we've been and the things we've experienced. It's been really good in that regard for sure.
Brandon, take us through a day in the life. What was a day of the last 30 days or so? What's a day in the life like?
Okay, we start out. Start out. I wake up. I'm not really a morning person, but I'm that's another learned experience. So I get up. I don't talk that much, and especially in the morning time, I don't. So I kind of enjoy the quiet time to get up and even saying good morning to people. I just say morning. I just. But I know I want to confess it's going to be a good day. But I just say morning. I like to have some caffeine to wake up, and then we do our daily reflection, that DMI, where I'm working on my character defects, trying to think about yesterday's character defects, or was I working the program, working recovery, and journaling about it, journaling about what, as Jason said, how does God see me? What I think about God, just getting stuff out, getting the character defects, the recovery aspects, um, doing that, and then setting quiet time, reflection time, kind of fellowshipping, uh, and then spending time eating breakfast, and then going into we usually go into like a biblical 12 steps first. We do like a couple of lessons, how it relates to each step, and we talk about that. We share about that where we're at on all this. We take a little break. We go into the big book, going to reading the big book, going to 12 by 12. Focus on that on the daily. How it's going to relate to the day, how it related, just sharing about recovery through the big book, AA, NA, Celebrate Recovery, whatever. And then we break down a little bit to take a break, eat lunch, go to work, go out in the hot sun, sweat it out. That's when our character defects start coming out a lot more. People tell me, man, kind of you overreacting, calm down a little bit. Yes, it's gonna pass, 'cause I guess it all comes from fear, man, just fear of the unknown. I start, especially when I'm working, man. When it's hot, I just start having all these thoughts coming through my head, like I'm less than, I can't do this, not gonna make it, gonna give up. Everybody else is pushing me through. That's what we're here for. They push me through it.
Yes, sir.
We get through the job. Starting out on a job for me, we start out doing something that's kind of a challenge. But once I get into it, it becomes easier because I'm overwhelmed at first. Like, man, I ain't going to be able to do this. That's how I think about it every day. So every day it's a process. We get through work, get through sweating, get back, get cleaned up, go to a meeting, start filling back up, or going to church or, doing a service, going to Celebrate Recovery, going to a meeting. We fill back up, get stuff out, and then come back and unwind and get ready and go back to sleep, which I'm trying to get this out of my head that sleeping is the best thing of the day. 'Cause that's the way I'm escaping right now. Instead of using, I'm escaping through sleep. And I got to get that out of my mind that I just need to sleep a little bit and get out and start being around people more and helping people instead of just isolating through sleep that way. But that's how I'm looking at it right now. There's a lot more I could say, but that's what's coming out though.
Yeah, man.
Day in the life of the 30-day reboot. Thank y'all for letting me share.
We holding?
No. I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Okay.
Well, I think
Okay.
that overall, man, it was nice 30 days, man. We're down to the bottom of it. I went up there with some expectations of like I said, I it's just took me all the way out of my element. I'm not from there. I'm not from the country like that. I don't like being up there, but I'm doing what I have to do. It's to better myself and to get to know myself a lot better. I am arming myself with some facts, and the fact is I don't like Alabama. But overall, man, it's really been good. I got to get in touch with myself and learning, man. I'm learning how to deal with other people. I don't like people that much. I'm finding out I'm not as sick as I think I am, which is a blessing, I guess. There's always someone sicker than me, and who am I to say who's sick and who's not? We come into this thing, man, with being powerless, man, and life showing up, man. I like, God's doing for me what I can't do for myself, man, and I truly like that, man. I'm just giving myself a chance, man, and staying prayed up, man, and hoping that life will go on, man. I'm living this thing one day at a time, and I'm loving it.
Hell yeah.
What was the hardest step? For me, I would say the fourth step, but my fourth step this time I did pretty thorough. I even went over it again. I'm just I'm touching it, man. I see that this process is gonna, I'm gonna be going through these steps, man, the rest of my life, man. So I'm not in no mad rush to disclose everything, but I did get a bunch of stuff out that I felt that was necessary for me to move on in my recovery.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I absolutely love listening to Tony speak. Like, it's been the highlight of this whole thing. That's kind of true, but a lot of the things have that we've been doing out here have really stuck out to me in my recovery and the things that I need to work on. I may have in the past may have applied these principles to alcoholism and my alcoholic tendencies and the behaviors that came out through my use of alcohol and pursuing alcohol. And I'm realizing I need to apply this in everything else in my life. But when it comes to step work, big one that that I really needed to go back, reevaluate, analyze was, I guess, step 4, and just being completely honest with myself about everything. But beyond step 4 was step 6, and being like, I have these other defects that I may have not been willing to give up with this whole controlling codependent behavior. Maybe that's something that I wanted to hang on to subconsciously and didn't really give up, or wasn't willing to give up at some point in time. But beyond that, like, just working with them and getting to talk to Brandon, Tony, and James, but working with the staff who have brought in this other aspect that I haven't really been too keen on looking at either, is bringing in the Bible and using that in correlation with the big book and everything. That's really opened my eyes to a lot of things as well, and I've gotten a lot out of that. I've definitely studied and read a lot of other religious texts, and I have always been a Christian at the base, but I've always been interested, having taught history, and been interested in the deeper truths of life. It's kind of amazing that I was so arrogant and ignorant to not look at the Bible as well, or as intensively as I had with these other, I guess, spiritual ideologies, philosophies, whatever it may be. But this whole combination of everything, I'm getting a lot out of it. But I really did notice that there was this defect that I may have subconsciously not wanted to get rid of or even recognize, which meant I couldn't have asked God humbly to remove it from me. And that is one thing that I've focused on a lot this time. And God has put these people in my life. I feel like I'm in the right place being up there, because I'm learning things that are necessary for my ultimate recovery and the way that I want to run my life and live my life. I guess, running my life, asking God to run my life. But yeah, that's what I got right now.
I will add that for me, I'm speaking for myself, that each day, not just here, but just every day in life, especially in recovery, it's a challenge mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. It's a challenge, and it's like every day's a test. I got to overcome with the help of God. But and not only doing like the 5 or 6 days we do this curriculum and everything. We do a little on the weekends. We do something, and I'm gonna highlight the about middle way we done the walls of Jericho, and that was like,
You were
I'm gonna be
loving
honest
it.
with you, that was a test right there.
Yeah.
That was physical, mental, emotionally, spiritually, everything, and everybody was brought through it. I didn't think I was gonna make it through it, man.
Yo, explain it. What the Walls of Jericho was.
It was a hike. I think it was 3.6 miles.
And the whole thing, we found out from another guy a week later, was 8.2 miles.
8.2 miles there and back.
Mm-hmm.
Round trip. All the way to a waterfall, which was very cold. I didn't go all the way under, but I went halfway. And it was, when I got down there, I felt better, but I just kept thinking, man, I go all the way back. It got dangerous in a few spots, slippery, real muddy and slippery off the edge. and I got kind of frustrated. When I got down there and pet that dog down there, it helped me a little bit. Then I seen the dog come out again. I was like, dog's just doing it. The dog's having fun going through there.
Yeah.
He didn't worry about nothing. Just doing it. And my legs started hurting pretty bad. I mean, my thighs. Drank a lot of water. I wanted to just say, man, I'm fixing to lay down in the woods. Y'all go ahead and go. I'll sleep here. But
I think
you
you
know
said
how
that a few
dark it'd be
times.
down there at nighttime. But
That whole experience was crazy because I got to walk with you for most of the time, and man, there was a lot of things that I could just see changing because it was hard. That was very difficult getting out there. It was slippery and like people people were not feeling great, on the way out there and everything. And then we get out there, and it was really cool. I said earlier, like, I feel like God put me where I'm supposed to be to teach me things. Like, I was in my head that whole day, and talking with you, it kind of helped me get out of my head. It was hard, man. That was really hard. And then we got to the waterfall, and we met this guy that had just graduated from the school my brother goes to, so I got to talk to him about that. And then we met these two kids that are going to Montana State, and I was out in, like, right down the road from it last year, and it kind of took me out of my head, and got to have these conversations, and then getting in the water with James and you and everything, and it kind of felt like, okay, we're like halfway there. And at that point in time, we were halfway through the steps and everything. And then we get from that, and it was harder getting back, hiking all the way back to the car from that, because we were halfway there. And then we get back to the car, and it looks like it's about to storm. Like, holy crap! Like, we're about a mile out. It looks like it's about to storm. And as soon as we all got in the car, not 30 seconds later, it was like tornado weather just came down. And that was a pretty crazy experience for me, for sure.
God got us through it before the storm came.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It looked like a tornado was going to come at first. It got dark, real dark, and then the rattlesnake, and everything. And
Giant rattlesnake.
we overcome
crossing.
everything.
Yeah.
Man, it was insane. That was crazy. There wasn't nothing nice about it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't realize how bad it was, but it was horrible. The terrain was bad. We're seeing snakes and being out there, and it was insane. I would never do that again in life. It wasn't nothing pretty about it. My knee is still hurt behind it. It's just, I'm 60 years old. I'm not trying to do that ever again. Period. It wasn't nothing cute about it either. I turned around on them and got lost out there. All kinds. It was just horrible. And, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And I definitely wouldn't do it again.
Yeah. I love you, Tony, so much. I drove up here from Charleston, and I came here to Christians, and the whole time in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I'm not going to smile once this entire freaking trip, like, at all. And, like, within the first time I hear Tony speak, like, in the car, I'm sitting in the back just laughing my ass off. And this entire time, in meetings, I can't control it. You say some wise stuff, man, and dropping knowledge on these people, and it is the way you express it and deliver the info, man. It cracks me up because it's real, and it means something to a lot of people in those rooms, including myself. But it is awesome the way you, like, we were talking about last night, you guys set up. Anyways, it's so funny to me, man, and it's brought a lot of joy into this trip for me, so I'm really appreciative of that, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think, man, recovery we're not a glum lot, man. I think that, a lot of things I talk about, man, is just lifelong things, man, that goes on in my life, man, and how I think, man. And my thinking got me where I'm at right now, man. And, I'm not here to entertain nobody about recovery, but, I have some experiences, and, my lingo is a little off at times, and, my understanding, man, is a little bit different than everybody else's, man. I assume, the way I look at things isn't the way everybody looks at things. My conversation definitely is off, and I've been like that all my life. That's really nothing new to me. But to other people, it seems like I'm speaking out of some kind of different type of language. But I see that people identify, so it's all to the good.
So how have you seen each other grow spiritually?
I would say, like I said, we came up to these mountains, man. None of us knew each other, so I get to see in all aspects from each one of these guys, man. I'm a good observer. I like watching. If I watch you and get to know you, it's a plus plus. I'm watching these guys go up there, and everybody's just rattled. You know, I some people say that you're not as bad as the other guy. I can't afford to say that because my mental state is twisted too. But uh, I was telling the guys the other day, all their facial features just changed as they've been up there. We've been up there almost a month now, and they didn't come up there looking like this. And they're looking pretty good, man. They sound good. Some of them weren't even talking right. I mean, their conversations even got better. Recovery is really a blessing for everybody, I think, in this thing called the process, man. The process of recovery and these steps, man, and getting to know self and getting air and working and doing things for the community. Getting out of self, man, is a beautiful thing. All aspects of recovery is good, man. This thing works if you work it, man, and it's just proof, man. Here we are, man, almost 30 days in, man, and we're almost done with this thing. We came through on the other side. It's a blessing. We got through with the 12 steps the other day, and life is good.
Yeah.
What about for you? How have you seen your brothers grow here?
Well, one thing I've thought about a lot is with Brandon over here. I think the first day I came up about a week after these guys got up there, and first day I just like talking Brandon's ear off, like at the kitchen table in the morning while we're going through the whatever quiet time. And I'm sitting there talking to him, and he's explaining things to me, and he was super cool about everything. But then through spending, more time with him, I realized he doesn't talk a lot. And so I was like, oh man, I may have just bugged the crap out of him that morning. But anyways, over the past week and a half, he has like found this voice that has resonated and has been impactful in both, recovery meetings and in our group meetings. And it's really cool to see. And people have been calling him out without even realizing who he is. Like there was a meeting we went to 2 weeks ago on Wednesday night, and you were out in the corner of the room where I can't even think the chairperson saw you, and he called on you immediately. And I was like, dude, first thought that went through my head is I don't even know how to where I would start if he had called on me. And you just like jumped into it, and you said some insightful stuff, man, that like was really cool. And you've been continuing to do it since then. And there's a little bit of negativity, and we've talked about it a lot. There's a lot of negativity. But this change has been happening that I can see a lot of this positive, and you've admitted this as well. It's like this direction change heading towards, this Christian godly path that you want to follow, and it's just like really cool to see this change, and it's really evident to me. And that's the same thing for all these guys. They all have different Tony, has these things that I've just watched. He's analyzing things, and he's like he just said, he's analyzing things all the time. He's bringing in, he's smart as hell, first of all, but bringing in the stuff that we're learning in the spiritual sessions that we have in the morning, and really like breaking it down and talking about it, relating it to the steps. And it's like we're having different conversations, and all these conversations are more centered around recovery, the Bible, and the 12 steps, and just coordinate it all between the four of us that are out there and the staff members and everything. I mean, it's been a pretty evident change, whether or not I could describe it with words or not, but there's been a change for sure.
I see all James, Cash, and Tony. I see them all seeking God more to His Word. Even times when we're out doing it as a group, like individual sessions, and another thing I notice is at meetings they're helping people get through things, this issues that's bothering them, like that guy Billy.
Yeah.
When Tony and James spoken to him, and saved his life from taking his own life, and keeping him that connected with the other man. I can't think of the man's name, but he went out there and talked to him. The little things are the biggest things in recovery. And just we've been out at all these meetings. Everybody always says how glad they are to have us. You know, not just I mean, just I guess we're just bringing God with us
For sure.
in a way. You know?
With James, like I know he's said a few things of like I don't like people and stuff like that, but he has gone out of his way to help comfort people in meetings, and so has Tony, and so has Brandon. And that thing that happened, we were at a Celebrate Recovery meeting in somewhere in Alabama, and this guy was just not all right. And James called him out. And didn't call him out. He went up and like embraced him and said, you know, everything's gonna be all right. Got Brian, who's a minister, and was like, we need to help this guy. Long story short, we go into a small group, and the guy that was facilitating the meeting was, you know, we could all tell this guy Billy was going through something rough, like to the point where he looked like he was going to kill himself, right? And so this facilitator of the meeting turns to him and is like, "Hey, there's these resources, there's mental health resources, all this stuff, and I got their numbers. I got a card with these numbers on it." And the guy Billy just turns around and is like, "I'll look it up online," like brushes it off. And this guy was in dire crisis. And I think all of us in the room were thinking it, but Tony just spoke up and was like, "Yo, why aren't you just going to take this man's card? You know, like, why wouldn't you just do that?" And that saved this guy's life, because we're walking out of the meeting 30 minutes later, and this guy is talking, Billy's talking with the facilitator of the meeting, and they're still hanging out in the parking lot when everybody else is gone. And so I truly believe between, you know, James and Tony, they saved that guy's life that night. Like, it was crazy. And there's like just been crazy things that have been happening in meetings when we were going around groups between the four of us in the staff that's going with us and everything, and then the groups as a whole. I definitely feel like I'm getting like goosebumps and stuff at every single meeting, because there's that presence of God that exists in there, and it's like palpable. You can feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's been really, really cool.
I love it, man. That's you know, life showing up. But I'm glad I could be a maximum service to my fellow drug addict, alcoholic. I mean, that's just part of recovery. I don't know. I love all facets of recovery. There's the mind, body, and spirit, man, and this is just all part of it, man. We learning. I've been around the game a little while, but you know, I haven't been applying it, man. And even in my addiction, I just be honest. In my addiction, I like helping somebody. So that's not odd for me, but I really have compassion for addicts and alcoholics who's trying to stay sober. So if I can help them any kind of way, I will. I get real nice in recovery. I'm real mean in my addiction, so I just do the opposite, man, of what God wants me to just stay sober, and God's helping me to stay sober. I keep God first, recovery second, and me third.
So what's this kind of concept of combining and the way that they're doing it? They're combining 12-step and the Bible. Talk about the way that they're going about it, how that's been what that's meant for you.
It's I'm staying spiritually fit. My God concept is still a little twisted. I'm working on that. I pray to God every day. I meditate every day. I just try to stay spiritually fit. My understanding of that Bible, I'm learning a lot more. It's very confusing to me over the years of what I've been taught and what I heard and all that craziness. But you know, I'm just keeping an open mind on that issue there. As far as the 12 steps, I love the 12 steps. I love recovery. It's all facets of it for me is getting out of self, helping somebody else, going to meetings, you know, living my life by some spiritual principles, getting a commitment, helping somebody else. You know, being part of, man. Fellowshipping is a big part of recovery. I mean, all facets of it, man. I don't know, like I said, I get real nice in recovery, man. I love helping anybody, man. I know that even women have a hard time staying sober, man. If I can say a good word to somebody or encourage somebody, it just feels good, man. I'm not doing it for myself, but I'm doing it for somebody else, man. And that way, God got room to work with me.
Yeah, with the program, it's been different than anything I've experienced in recovery. With it being so centered in the Bible, a lot of the stuff that we read out of, we start our first session, our first like class session, whatever step we're on, you know, we are going to a part of the Bible that kind of extrapolates on that step, and it uses the literature of the Bible, scripture of the Bible, to give examples of this working in that context, and then we talk about it, and it's like really bringing to the forefront how important God is in every single part of these steps, and it's made me realize how much how important it is to put God first. I like what Tony says, put God first, my sobriety second, me third. And I never thought about it that way at all, but it's by the grace of God that I'm sitting here today, because I could be dead so many times over, or I could be out doing what I do, or I could be in prison and all this stuff. And I've been very fortunate not to. And it's a lot looking back on my life while doing these. I've been able, with the format that we're doing it, right, keeping the Bible hand in hand with the 12 steps, it has made me realize how much of an impact God has had on my life when I have sat down and earnestly searched for him and asked for help from him, and to guide me. And he has been there throughout my entire life. There may have been times when I've chosen to look the other way, but he's always been there. And that's what doing this program, combining the two, the Bible and the 12 steps, and going into it with guys that know what they're talking about, that's a huge thing for me. These ministers that are working with us, man, they have some awesome wisdom and knowledge, and they are able to combine all this stuff and make it in a very digestible format for myself. And it's put a lot of things in perspective in my recovery program now that I may have been missing in the past. But it's been really cool to experience all the spiritual aspect, it being just as important as, and it is a spiritual program, right? The whole thing's a spiritual program. But I got lost in that, like, if I do this and I do this next thing and the next thing and I do the next right thing, that's all that matters. It's going to keep me sober. But that's not the case. I got to hit my knees every single morning. I got to ask for God to guide, my thoughts, and push me in the right direction, or show me the right direction. Because my life run on self-will gets me back here, buddy. What do you got, Brandon?
I enjoy that Life Recovery Bible. I've used it before, and it was different. It looked different, but I enjoy it. It has 12 steps in it. It has the Bible, and because the 12 steps come from the spiritual principles, come from biblical anyway. So it breaks it down, and different scriptures, and it puts the steps, and it reflects on different people in the Bible. Just thinking about practicing these steps, and all my not practicing steps, working these steps helps me in life, helps me kind of give a pattern to do the right thing, plus practicing the spiritual principles over before my personality. That's what I got to think about, because that's the only way I'm going to make it in recovery, is not to rely on my thinking, but these spiritual principles. It's designed to help me and help everybody to get along with each other and work with each other. I think,
That recovery Bible is a game changer, man. I really think so. I mean, my pastor gave me a good Bible. I have a good Bible, and I mean, all Bibles are good, but I have a good Bible. But that recovery Bible is very simply read, in under my understanding. I don't have no major education, so I think it breaks down the steps, as well as the biblical sense of what's going on with the book and recovery. Coincides with one another, and I love it.
All right, so what about these inner core beliefs? We talked a little bit about this morning. How have your inner core beliefs changed over the last 25 days?
My secrets aren't really secrets. You know what I mean? My beliefs aren't really good beliefs, man. I hold on to things, and like I was telling you earlier, I still hold on to things. I'm just glad I'm willing to open up and let them out, or try to work with them. I got some stuff that's just deep instilled that my core is really twisted. I'm glad that I have to start working on this if I want to get well. This is the part of the game where I realize over the years of being in recovery, people fall off because of this reason. You know, they don't want to look at self, man. I'm willing to diagnose myself, whatever it takes to get to know me, find out. You know, fact finding is very serious, I think, in recovery. I don't have no room for secrets. I just don't. My life's an open book, and I keep it like that just for that reason, man. I want to get better, not sicker.
Yeah, man, there is a solution. I've lived in the solution, all right. And through working these steps and everything, I've had peace and serenity, and through that, God removed the obsession to drink for me, right? And so the biggest thing that I've taken away from these past 25 days is if He could do something that powerful. Alcohol ran my life for years, man. I would do anything to go get alcohol, go get drunk, get out of this state of mind, right? If He can do that for me, then why is it so hard for me to give up everything else that I want? You know, like this control issue I have, like this codependency that I have, everything, these fears that I have. He's taken them away, and he has been doing that over the past however long I've been here. Like legitimately, there's things that I had so much fear coming up here. I talked to you, Christian. I talked to guys up there, Kirk, the staff members, every Braden, all those guys, man. And every single day, you know, I'm focusing on the fact that God is so great, it is not comprehensible to me to even begin to fathom how far-reaching His greatness is. Correct, right? So why am I so small-minded that I can only wrap my head around the fact that He can take the small little obsession of alcohol away from me? You know, that just state of mind away, and He can't do that for the rest of these character defects that I have and all the rest of these issues that I want to hold on to, you know, or not necessarily even want to hold on to, but things that I allow to control, you know, my thinking and my behaviors and the actions that result from all that, you know. So that's the biggest thing that I've taken away this past month is just like, man, God is so great. He's been showing me every single day through people's words, through this scripture I'm reading, through literature I'm reading, through just having conversations with you guys. Like, man, it's real, you know, and like God has filled me up with love in a way that I would never have said this, dude. You asked me this a month ago, never in a million years would have said this to you. I would have called you freaking crazy for the crap that's coming out of my mouth right now. But it's real, dude. It's real, and I'm experiencing it today. I woke up experiencing it, and I'm having a good day. I'm just grateful to be here. What's up, Brandon?
These core beliefs that I got to start. I will start believing what God says about me instead of what I think about myself. What I believe since I was a kid that I'm just a loner, a loser, a failure, nobody. Uh, that I was just born to die. I mean, and I got to look at the way God looks at me, you know, with love. He loves us. He loves us. He created us for a purpose. And that's the only thing that's going to help me is to keep remembering that and meditate on that and stop believing what the enemy's telling me, you know, because that's not real. What God believes in us is real. And that's what matters for eternity. I mean, I got to keep telling myself this over and over. I got to get this sinking in my head. Even when I wake up, and they say when you get up, start speaking like in affirmations, like speaking affirmations to your life. That's one thing I don't do. Speaking things to existence. You know, I mean, I speak the wrong things into existence. I need to speak the right things into existence and start believing it. I know my faith's growing in God, in Jesus, in the Holy Spirit, and I can't really see it, but I mean, I can see I can notice somewhat, but I just got to keep believing and do the right, believing in God, doing the right thing, and focusing on God and recovery, helping others.
I want better for myself. I'm gonna do better for myself.
Yeah, for sure. I'd also like to say, for me, working to say if like you're out there and you have this issue, like I have this issue with alcohol or drugs or whatever, you know, it's a big turnoff for a lot of people to talk about God in the way that I guess we are right now. But just work the steps, come in, man, be part of the community, and just check it out for yourself. You don't have to believe what I believe to get sober. I truly know that. But I think through time, you're going to figure out what is and what isn't. But working the steps, man, first and foremost, and getting in there and cleaning up, there's a solution. So I just felt like saying that.
Yeah, well, that was actually the next question, which is our last question, which is, what would you say to someone who is at the point you were when you gave up control to show up to Alabama?
For me, you know, it was. They asked me to go. They didn't ask me to go. They told me to go. And it was just like that. For one, for me, where I was at that moment in that time, I don't have no choice in the matter, man. And I think I lost the power of choice, man, when I brought myself to recovery. I'm just willing to do whatever it takes. The people that send me up there are people that care about me and want better for me. I'm still trying to figure out where that really lies, but you know, I do have some people in my corner today, and I thank God for that. That really care about me and want better for me, and now it's more of me wanting better for myself, and it's been an experience, and I love it.
If you want it, you can have it, man. Like sobriety is a real thing, and it's scary, especially if you've never tried it. It's hard to give up that willingness. But yeah, man, I had a good bit of time before I decided to go drink a few weeks ago, and you know, through this program, I knew what I needed to do if I really wanted to get back on track with it, and that was giving up my will. I had to go take care of this issue, and because I've somewhat experienced the solution in the past, more so I've seen guys experience the solution and live in it for 30, 40, 50 years, man. You know, it works. And so you just got to be willing to do it. If you were willing to go to any length to go get your drug of choice, alcohol, whatever, man, take that same passion and drive, put it towards this. It's going to suck at first. It could really suck at first. Or you could love it, man. You could love coming in and being like, hey, there's people that actually care about me in these rooms. And there's people that actually want me to get better and want to be my friends, like legitimate friends, and people that want to go do things with me. And, you know, just whatever, man. Like there's a community of people who are awesome that want the best for you, not like your buddies you were using with, man. The guys that would drop you on the side of the street and never talk to you again. You know, there's a real awesome community that exists, and it's worldwide, and they carry a strong message, man. These people carry a strong message, and you could be, you know, the next one of us for sure.
I don't have much clean time, you know, just about a little bit over a month. But I'm gonna be honest. If I can do this, anybody can do it because I'm. It's getting me out of my comfort zone for one thing. I think that's the main thing is get out of my comfort zone, and it's not going to be a bed of roses every day, and everybody knows that. It's going to be like living life on life's terms, but applying these principles all day, and you know, just trying to do the right thing, man, instead of going back and living in that world of decay and death and everything. And nothing's ever gonna come out of that that's gonna be any good. It might seem like it when you get high, but it's not. It goes down into the dark pits of hell, and further down every time. And this right here, it might not. Sometimes to me, it just don't seem like everything's all that great, but it is going great. It's the best for me, and I know it. I don't feel like it all the time, but I know it's the best for me. And that's the way I got to do it. Even if I don't feel like it, I've got to do it. Got to keep this same routine every day. What I'm doing, even at this program and getting back into life, I've got to. That's the only way, you know. And I got to make that I want to work this program.
It's awesome, buddy.
Any final thoughts? Anything else you guys want to add?
Tony?
One day at a time, man. Keep your head up, chest out, and boots tight, man. This is a journey, man. It's a journey. It's a lifelong journey, man. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Can I use your line? Why tell a lie when the truth would do? I love it, man. Dude, this is awesome. It really is. Recovery is awesome. It doesn't just exist in like whatever the rehab treatment environment, go out, seclusion. It exists in rooms all across the country. People from society, from all walks of life, are living this way of life. And dude, they're killing it in life because they are practicing the things we are taught in this program throughout their life. And so, I plan on jumping back on board here and getting to it. But man, it's a much better way of life than the one I was living before.
I agree with that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You got it.
We out
Good
here.
job, guys.
All right. Did it come out good?
Good job, guys.
Thank you. That was an experience. That's the first time I've ever done this.
Yeah.
First time,
Dude,
man.
you communicated great.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
You got it.
Dude, it's all this stuff getting called out, man. Getting called out, preparing.